Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is boy Jamar here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar84 here, and I am so happy to come to you today. We are introducing a brand new segment to the channel. I know that this is going to be a sort of an uphill climb because I know especially my audience may not be aware of this particular show, but I want to bring y'all up to speed. Well, not really up to speed, but I want to introduce y'all to this new web show that was introduced to me by my friend Scotty, Mr. Still Standing, which I've been doing the prelude with. Make sure I go over to his channel, check him out. We've been doing YouTube live streams every week. So early this year, he was telling me to watch this YouTube web show called GStatus ATL Hustle. And I watched other, Black LGBT web series like About Him, The Triangle, what's the other one? I can't remember the name of it right now, but The Circle. My friend of mine does The Circle. That's a reality show type of web series. So he told me to check this out. He said it was really, really good, and that he was involved with some of the people that created the show. So he said it'd be a good idea for me to get into it and kind of see what it was about. So earlier this year in January, I just watched the show. I binged the first season. It was about maybe 12 episodes, each ranging from about 45 to 50 minutes. So while I was just at my desk, I would check out this show, and surprisingly, of course it was the first season. Of course it's not going to be as high budget as like a show that's being aired on television, but considered, that it was just on YouTube, it still felt pretty well done. And I could tell that as the episodes went on, the production got better and they kind of had a better idea of what to do. So I got really into it, and I found myself like having all these different opinions. I'm like, wow, this would be so much fun to actually review for the channel, right? So I said, whenever they decided to finally come out with season 2, we are going to talk about it, okay? I want y'all to go check out this show. I already told a friend of mine tonight, because I just finished watching the premiere tonight. It came on this morning, to watch the show, binge the first season, so that when you're watching my recaps of the second season, you'll be all the way caught up, okay? So, because it's really good. I found this is actually really good. And I actually am familiar with and have met a couple of people from the show, a lot of new faces, but I'm really, really excited to get into her. So without further ado, I'm gonna put the link to both season 1 and the season 2 premiere in the description of this video, so you guys can get in, so y'all can catch up. And since when we come back, I think the next episode is not until July 5th. You have plenty of time because we're gonna be talking about it. And if you ain't in, you ain't gonna be understanding all the shade. Because let me tell you something. Those of you that are watching me know that I recap things and review, and you know that I give my honest opinion. Now, sometimes that opinion isn't always well received, but the important thing is I'm only talking about what I see on the show. I'm only going to talk about the type of person or character that's portrayed from the show. If I may not like you on the show, that doesn't mean that I'm going to disrespect you and not like you in real life. I'm up to meeting anyone, because I would like to meet the entire cast, to be honest. But I'm going to judge what I see on this show. I feel like I need to go ahead and get that part out before this first part of this premiere. So, there's going to be a lot of callbacks to the first season. You're just going to have to watch the first season, child. Some things I don't remember specific details about, but I remember enough. So the episode starts off with Charlie Exile's listening party for his new EP, I believe, that's going to be called Lingo. And last season, he had this listening party for his initial single called Pussycut. And this song, it was cute. It was a cute little pop ditty for a little bit. But here's the thing about Charlie. At least, and again, this is just me observing from what I've seen. how he describes his music and his art makes it seem as it doesn't connect to what I actually hear. He makes it seem as though, I don't know, something, it seems like when I was hearing him talk about his music, I was expecting something different than what I heard. I don't know why, I can't really explain that, but that's neither here nor there. He walks in this like white beaded cat suit, question mark, with like feathers around the ankles and the wrists, and he had the bedazzled makeup. I mean, he was beat, but it was like, and he had a tail. But you know what? That's the part that took me out. I didn't necessarily mind, okay, the androgynous feathers, the white, the makeup, it matched, I get it. But the tail, the tail is the part that takes me to another realm. And he was holding it the whole time, just like, Charlie's so extra, very extra with the fashion. Now, I actually do kind of live for this confessional shoulder RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 3 promo look type tees with the dangling facets. I kind of dig that a little bit. But so he's here at this listening party. He invited everybody that came back from last season, which is Sharad, Tramel, Sir Hakeem, and did he invite somebody else? I can't remember. Those are the only people that he invited, but be that as it may, he invited everybody to come on out and show up. So alongside him, he has his best friend that just goes by R Guy. Okay, R Guy is a professional makeup artist, hairstylist for celebrities, this, that, and the fourth. He knows what he's doing. That's his best friend, you know, in the fashion world. You know, they both the fashion girls, okay? So he's there to support him. They've been knowing each other for a very long time. That's his best friend, so he wants to show up to his event and, you know, show him some love. So I'm like, okay, cool. I understand that. So he's up there, he's performing his song, Pussy Cunt. He did this other song called Bad Bitch that had a little bop ditty. You know, people in the club, they having themselves a good time, you know, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So Tramel comes in. Now, Tramel from last season was kind of there for no reason. Like, he didn't do anything. And what was strange is that at the reunion, at the last 5 minutes of the reunion, mind you, it felt like, he had this whole attitude and issue with Sherrod, which I missed. I remember being confused then, and I'm still confused now when I think about it. I felt like I missed something, or something had happened off camera that he was upset about, and we're seeing it here. I'm like, okay. Somebody, I wish I could find, I wish this, I'm gonna have to go like on a group or somewhere in the comments of this video to figure out like what the hell was going on, because I'm like, where did this originally start? Because if y'all see season 1, they start off the first season, the first episode, hanging out and having dinner and kind of catching up. So I failed to remember, this I don't remember off the top of my head, where the disconnect between Tramel and Sherrod came. But it was just weird. He didn't really do much during the season except instigate and just watch everybody else's drama play out. So I'm just like, oh, okay, he's still here? I guess, child. So Sharad and this new cast member called Delicious arrived to the party. Now, Delicious did a scene with Sharad the first season, which I didn't remember until he actually mentioned it. And I'm like, you know what? I like her. She gives me a good vibe. You know, she's a trans woman. That's one of Sharad's closest friends. And I don't know what it is about both Sharad and Delicious together. Like, those look like those would be my friends. Like, I can't explain the vibe. Because, you know, I've friends with a lot of different kinds of trans women and, you know, gay men, surprisingly, because they say that we don't get along. But she and Sharad are my type. I don't know what it is. I feel like we would cackle and kiki together. And I met Sherrod once, actually. Sherrod used to be a roommate to one of my friends in Atlanta. That was way back in like 2016 or so. But I like him. I like him a lot. They seem like my kind of people. But when they came in, because last season, Sherrod and Charlie at the finale episode, mind you, the whole first season, Sherrod's drama is everybody trying to bring back his adult work because he does work in the adult industry, and everybody just tried to, pound that on him, say that he's nothing but that, and downgrade his attempts to find success in modeling and this, that, and the fourth. So I don't, and this is another time where I'm just like, why does Charlie have an issue? Because he came into that finale seating or whatever that the event was, the finale of the first season, and was just like, do we have a problem? And Sherrod was like, look, I already got into this fight with December last week at that HIV event. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be calm, but you coming in front of me out of nowhere, like, what's the issue? So they kind of had like a little friction. Now, I want to say that at the reunion that they kind of patched things up about as well as you can patch things up. It's kind of was like we don't have beef, we're really cordials, but we just won't fight when we see each other. That's the kind of thing I got from that. But so he's coming to the event and he's kind of like, he's dressed almost like he wants to fight. Like he has like a black hoodie on. He's kind of just dressed like low key, like he doesn't really want to be seen. And he's like, look, last year I took a lot of shit. Sure, I was like, but this season, we laid everything out. We nipping things in the bud. We're not about to be dealing with no BS. So I'm just like, oh, okay, let's go, because there's gonna be two people here that don't really care for you. So we're gonna see how this go. And he brings her, of course, Delicious with her. She's just there to support him. She has no idea really who Charlie is. She doesn't really care. She just wants to be backup and support for him. So she's already consensed that as soon as he walked into the establishment that he had a problem and that his whole energy changed. And she's like, I don't want to prepare for whatever kind of drama or interaction that we're about to have, but I'm here to support my friend. So after the performance, Charlie and Tramel decide to catch up. Tramel kind of feels the type of way that he hasn't hung out with Charlie since the reunion happened last year. And I just, okay, I'm gonna say this. I feel like Charlie is the type of person who's not going to build a relationship with you unless there's something he can gain from you. Because I'm looking at the people that he does like, or that he does, associate with, and all of them are, prestigious in some sort of way. And it feels like he only wants to attach to people that can get him somewhere. Because I don't remember why he had an issue with Sherrod. I remember why Sherrod would have an issue with him, because at the first episode of the first season, when Sherrod was having like I don't know if it was like an open house, it was some sort of event gathering, he decided to bring up his adult, Charlie decided to bring up Sherrod's adult past or adult video content to people who may not have had any idea. May have been a crowd of people that he was trying to keep that, away from and keep it professional, but he tried to be messy. So I could understand why Sherrod would have a problem with Charlie, but not so much the way around. Didn't really remember that. But apparently, since Tramel and Sherrod don't hang out anymore, Charlie and Sherrod don't really associate with each other no more. Charlie was like, well, that's the reason why, I didn't really reach out to you to hang out, because you were still associating with other people. And Tramel was like, I don't really associate with those other people anymore. So now, Charlie's like, oh, now I can call you that, you kind of removed all the negativity from your life. And they're both just, and it's like the energy and the vibe that I get from both Tramel and Charlie are just like, no, you would probably not be the type of crowd I could fit in. I don't like that sort of elitist, I'm somehow better than you mentality. And that's something that's just rampant within our community anyway, especially the Black gay community. Like, we want to feel like we have some sort of status. We want to feel like we have some sort of reign or dominion over someone else to make us feel better. I don't know. That's my analysis of the psyche of the situation. I never understood it. I'm more so on a genuine friendship. Like, even if I may not be able to necessarily gain something from you, as far as clout chasing and all that other bullshit, like, do we get along? That's all I care about. Are we able to interact and have a conversation is what matters to me. But it seems like for Charlie and Tramel, they just like always talk about materialistic gain, status gain or whatever. And I'm just like, that stuff seems so fake to me. But Sherrod approaches Charlie after the event, like he's done his performance or whatever. And they're doing this whole, like, of course they introduce each other because he doesn't really know his friend Delicious. And Sherrod did accidentally misgender her. He did. I had to go back because I was like, wait a minute. Because it seemed like, if you didn't catch that, because I was already ready to jump down Charlie's throat for trying to misgender her, like, or I thought that he was trying to say her, like, oh, you sure it's a her? But no, Sherrod actually accidentally called her him. So he was just correcting her, but it just came off, you know, I don't know. Because they're already walking on eggshells around each other, so. They doing this whole like, oh, like, how are you doing? Like, what's going on? You know, when's your next show? Blah, 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 blah. And Sherrod calls it out like, I can't do this fake shit. Like, we sitting up here trying to act like we like each other and it's fake as fuck. And then in the confessionals, Charlie's reading the hell out of both of them. He's been calling one trash. He calling Delicious recycled trash. And I'm just like, girl, y'all all on the same platform as far as I'm concerned. So there's really no room for neither one of y'all to be talking too much about the other. Especially, I feel like Sherrod's cool, but it just seems like Charlie just be doing the most. I can't. And these, he doesn't want to see Tramel, of course. I think by then Tramel has already left the party. Which is because I'm like, Tramel was really like at that reunion, act like he was gonna square up. I'm like, I wanted to see it because you know that Sherrod is about that life. Sherrod has proven that he is about that life. So I'm very interested to see if they're gonna have like a real like interaction scuffle type tea, because I don't see it. I don't see Tramel fighting. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong, bitch. I want to see it. All right, let's see. I forgot about. I mentioned the fight that Sherrod had at the HIV event with that December person. I don't think I say this often. I hated December. I hated December this season. He got on my nerves. And he came like towards the end of the season randomly and just starting shit everywhere. I'm like, no. And then I'm so glad he's not on this season, or at least he's not on this season yet. I feel like I did see him in the trailer, I'm afraid. But be that as it may, he put out, apparently, like, they showed a clip of December in the bathroom with a gentleman. I said, ooh. Well, I love it. Okay, so we moving on from that. Charlie's fake. Sherrod was being fake. They tried to be cordial, and it wasn't working. So next, we get reintroduced to Sir Hakeem. Now, Sir Hakeem from last season, he did and is still doing the absolute most in these confessionals. I'm like, cut his confessionals in half. He just be going and going and going on these random tangents that don't be making half a sense. He just be talking, and I think that's like his thing. Honestly, I think that's just how he works. But I'm just like, girl, doing the fucking most. So we see Sir Hakeem, and he's with this guy named Brandon Chaos, which is actually somebody else that I met a couple of years ago. He was a designer that was working with Kennedy for DragCon that year. And I was staying with Kennedy and Trinity at their Airbnb because I was like working with Trinity's booth that year. So I got to meet him then. He is fine. He is fine in person. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He's fine. And he does some amazing clothes. I'm following his Instagram. If y'all need a dress made, yes, absolutely. So they're there at this restaurant or like this little pub, this little from Louisiana based or New Orleans based. And there's this performer named Ike. Okay, now Ike has been doing some shows. She's been doing some shows lately around, of course, Atlanta and just different parts of the country. He's opened for a couple of great artists. So, and he can sing. Like I heard him, I'm like, okay. He did like a cover of what's that? Is it No Bullshit? It was Chris Brown's No Bullshit from the Fame album. I'm like, okay, he got a little pipe. And so Sir Hakeem was trying to introduce him to Brandon and Tramel because you know that Tremel is a little hot in the ass right now. And I'm like, oh Lord, it's about to be Tramel's storyline. Well, at least he'll have one this time. Okay. So they're all going out to the patio to chit chat. They all communicating. They kind of getting to know each other. They ask him about where he's performed. And Sir Hakeem wants to do like a dinner. He's inviting anybody that he meets with for the rest of this episode. He's trying to invite them to this large dinner that's going to happen in the next episode. So while they're all conversing, Tramel and Ike sort of step back to the side. You ever know, like when you walk in a crowd and you know, if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, you kind of slow down so you guys can kind of interact instead of keep up with the rest of the crowd. So we noticed that they kind of falling back, and then everybody else goes inside and they're still outside. And Tramel just stumbles all over his words. He's trying to ask this boy out. And the guy is just like, dude, I'm kind of feeling you. You kind of feeling me. Just say what it is that you want to say because you just doing the most right now. And he was just like, let me just go ahead and ask him out. But then this is where it kind of went weird. And I don't know if this is just because Tramel was nervous, but he was like, okay, so what do you like to do? He's like, well, I like to do like, walk on the beach and, long walks in the park and shit. I like to eat. And he's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And he's like, what do you like to eat? And then I could ask him, like, do you cook? And he was just kept going to like, well, what do you like to eat? So I'm just like, you just basically told me that you can't cook. But he was kind of going all back and forth. Like, if you're trying to ask someone on a date, you have to be the one to take the initiative. You have to be the one to sort of kind of plan and say what it is that you want to do. Okay? Like, he kept trying to push it back on Ike, and Ike is kind of like, you're supposed to be asking me out. Like, you tell me what to do. So he did try to ask him, like, what time are you free? And then Ike responds like, what time do I need to be free? And he was like, oh. Okay, that was kind of cute. He said, that's a panty dropper right there. He said, take control. I'm like, child, Tramel is such a bottom. But anyway, it was cute. They exchanged numbers. Apparently, I'm sure they're gonna, have a little date session in the coming episodes. But I mean, this is cute for her. I probably would have asked him out too, because somebody that can sing. So I can't even really be mad. So we move forward to Delicious's meeting with Sharad. She's doing like a rehearsal, okay? She's doing this for her song Talk to Me, which I feel like has way too much auto-tune. But I still like her, so I'm gonna support the song. So, but then she talked about how she's done like a performance where she opened for Light Skin Keisha from Love and Hip Hop. Now I do like Light Skin Keisha. Light Skin Keisha she was a hoot from the part of the Love and Hip Hop season of Atlanta that I did watch and was reviewing this past season. I did like Light Skin Keisha. So she was performing. She did really well. I loved her little outfit. She's doing the damn thing. So Sherrod says that he made up with Charlie at that event, but they're just kind of cordial, but he's still like not too sure how to feel about everybody else. So I'm just like, this is a setup for something big that's going to happen later in the season. I don't see whatever this cordial situation that he's supposed to be having with the rest of this cast is going to last very long at all. I'm just saying, I just see it. So let me see. Okay, so Charlie and his friend, our guy, are going out shopping, and they're trying to talk like, oh, you know, what's going on? They're trying to get the updates, and this is where I'm confused by Charlie and his whole intentions, because he was shading Sherrod the whole time that he was there, but yet you asked him to be there, and was confused as to why he showed up, and you don't even like him, so you didn't even really want him there, but you asked him there for what? And then when our guy asked you this question, like, why did you even invite him there? Like, why do you associate him? Like, you want to pretend like it's for charity? Like, this is why I'm just like, I can't do her. I don't like Charlie. Do not like him. I was indifferent to him last season until towards the end when he started to pull that bullshit with Sharad out of the blue. But I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I mean, his friend, I mean, that's just his friend. I expect him to have his back, but I wonder if he's gonna ever call him to task, but I don't know. We'll see. I just don't like that whole I'm better than you elitist complex that they got going on. It's very off-putting to me. And it may just be because it's not my style, but I do not like it. Oh, this is what I want to put down, because I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this that was kind of perked up my ears. So our guy, according to him, was supposed to be called and casted for the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race. But he ended up not doing it because he was, you know, still dealing with his family and his sexuality, and he didn't want anybody to be like, to call his family and say that your son is on TV dressing as a woman, so he couldn't do the show then. I'm like, interesting. His name was Comorian. I don't know if he has like a last name, but his name was Comorian. I think he still performs in drag. So I was like, that's an interesting little tidbit, considering, of course, my audience here. That's interesting. I like that. So next we get introduced to the cast member Devon. Now everybody was really excited when he was announced as a cast member, but I don't know where he is from. I'm sure he probably is on a program that I just didn't watch, but I enjoy him. I think I'm going to enjoy him. He seems like another person that I will get along with, because he seems like a realist. I love how when he was meeting with Sir Hakeem, apparently they had like some beef in the past, and he's gonna be, you know, cordial now, but he's not a fan of playing this fake relationship just because we're in front of the camera. So I feel like we're not gonna get that fake, phony bullshit from Devon. Like, I feel like whether the cameras are on or not, he's gonna be real about how he feels and whatever the situation is going on. So I'm appreciative of that. He doesn't trust Sir Hakeem at all. And Sir Hakeem is trying to invite him to this dinner. And he's like, well, girl, who's gonna be there? And he started talking about how he invited Charlie. Baby, Devon said that Charlie has a stinky kitty. And he's talking about a pussy cunt, like the pussy stunk. I'm like, ooh. Now, you know, that's one thing I can't do a bitch that don't bathe. My nose palette is so sensitive, and he was reading the fuck out of Charlie. He was talking about that his drawn on beard line. He was talking about that his tattoos is fake, and I'm just like, I'm like, ooh. And you think about it is, I believe everything that he said. I believe everything that he said. But the only thing about Devon that I didn't necessarily care for is that when he invited, he got invited to the dinner and he knew that Sherrod was going to be there, he sort of jumped on the whole bandwagon of, I don't really want to associate and deal with the porn star thing. I don't know. It just feels like they're making it much more of a deal than it is. They say it as if Sherrod is trying to sleep with them, which is weird. It's just like, we all watch it, so why are we shaming somebody else for doing something that we all watch? I don't know, child. That's just strange to me. That's the only thing I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna keep my eye on you, Devon, until, you know, further notice. But I did keep that. I'm like, Next we get introduced to Roderick. Now Roderick so far is probably the least dramatic person, well, at least from this episode. We just got introduced to the fact that he is an androgynous person. He likes to wear the makeup and the wigs, but doesn't identify as trans. So he's a makeup artist. He's gotten into modeling. He was living in Dallas, Houston. Now he's in Atlanta. And he talked about how, you know, he has this tumultuous relationship with his family. And one thing that I definitely took away is when he was talking about how when you have to hide a large part of who you are for so long, and you finally get to an age where you feel comfortable in your own skin, you feel comfortable expressing yourself the way that you want to finally, you really just want your parents and your family and the other people that are close to you to just accept you and make you feel not like I don't want to say a stranger, but make you feel like you're the same person when you express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. So for like example, he likes to wear the makeup and the wigs. He wants to be able to wear the makeup and the wigs around his family, and they just not make it like this big deal, you know? Because that's kind of something that I deal with my own family. Like now that they know that I wear the makeup, there's sometimes where I wish I could, just wear it if I just feel like wearing it around my family at family gatherings, but I know that they have not necessarily evolved to the point where they're comfortable with me being that. Maybe over time, but I definitely understood where he was coming from with that particular struggle. So I reach out, definitely, extend the hands of prayer to him for that. I'm excited to see what the rest that he is gonna do this season because he is beat. So I feel like I would like him. And honestly, the next scene was with Sir Hakeem and this guy named Jabari, and they just spent about what looked like 15 to 20 minutes just trying to decide on whether or not they fucked or not. I was like, this is going on very long. I don't really care about too much of what's happening here. So it's like, did they have a threesome? Did they not have a threesome? Were they in a relationship? Were they not in a relationship? Are they using each other for clout? Or are they not? It was all over the place. But that was primarily my notes for the first episode. This is a 2-hour long episode, so that's why this is going to be extremely longer than the next ones. But if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. Hopefully, if you are someone involved with this show, especially as a cast member that I didn't speak too highly of, please don't hate me. Please don't hate me, because I think our guy already retweeted and liked my tweet when I was talking about that I was going to do this video. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they're watching. I'm just, again, as I said at the beginning, I'm just talking about what I see on the show. I would love to meet you all. We could have a conversation. That'd be really fun. We could have a conversation. And yeah, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media links will be in the bottom. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Jamar84. Of course, here on YouTube at Jamar84. If you happen to be a supporter of this particular show, or a fan, if you just came across this video, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like, comment, and share it out to other people who enjoy the show, so we can come in and talk about it. If you've seen the show, let's talk about it in the comments, because I would really like to build this up off the ground. I really, really enjoy the show. And if you haven't seen it, I hope you partake. It's really, really good. Support our LGBT creators. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Bye, guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Jamar, Washington.